Well, hello, folks, and I hope I can prop you guys up. Hope you guys will stay there. Hello, folks. Welcome back to a Central Radio Show. No, not a Central Radio Show. Sorry. I'm how tired I am. Today is actually not Friday's vlog, but Saturday's vlog, and it's about 12:49, 12:50 in the morning. So I'm just gonna get my glasses on. Done. So today is Saturday the 23rd, 2026. Here for another episode. I think this is episode 40 something for the year, and I think like the 49th or something overall, or something like that. Some crazy number. So can't remember what number it is. I think we just transferred the 40s. So hello everybody, welcome back. You guys know me. So everybody, you guys are probably wondering why Forza Motorsport isn't up yet. I was tired after work, so I really didn't have yesterday and today to not really upload it. Plus, I gotta check over the recording again. And it seems that some of the sound is on, some of the sound is off. So I'm gonna have to record some later today, since it's probably in the afternoon tomorrow, probably in the afternoon today. So, couple of things. The Indy 500 looks like it's going to be rained out on Sunday, so I might be reporting it on Monday, on Memorial Day. So, wanted to touch base with you guys because I looked it up yesterday. It was either yesterday or today that I wanted to touch base with you guys about. Usually, just wanted to point this out. I want to make this video, and I want to make it clear. It shouldn't really matter whether you were a fan of this driver or you were a fan of this. Whether you're not a fan of this driver or you were a fan of this driver. This isn't the point of this video. It isn't to take shots at this fan base. For those of you who are in the NASCAR world, you guys will know that we lost Kyle Busch. I think it was yesterday. At a very young age. I think he was 41. He was 40. Hey Siri. How old is Kyle Busch?
Kyle Busch died May 21st, 2026 at age 41 in Charlotte.
So he died on the 21st, which was 2 days ago. So he died on Thursday, at 41 years old. And that's kind of sad because, I'm just going to say, wasn't a fan of Kyle, but, that doesn't mean, that I didn't see that I wasn't a really big fan of Kyle. He was a great driver. He was an amazing driver. He was good. He had his moments. I mean, he won the Cup when he won the NASCAR Cup 2 times. So, anybody who wins the Cup championship can't be all that bad, right? He is, when he first started out, I'm not gonna lie, when he first started out, thought he was a bit of a thought he was a bit of a crybaby, but once he won those two championships, he got a little bit better. He got a little bit better after that. It's with most NASCAR drivers. They're a little NASCAR slash oval drivers and such. They can be their emotions can be. It's kind of the standard thing to have emotions as an old school oval driver, and I'm pretty sure Richard Petty's even said, somebody might be able to, but Richard Petty, I think told the press, I think one time, that Kyle Busch was a very good very old school, and old school, and a very old school, very traditional race car driver. Kind of raw, and there's a lot of NASCAR drivers and there's a lot of guys that drove in NASCAR that were very emotional, and got very emotional and were kind of hot headed, but that was just how they were. Um, and in Indy racing, now that it's Indy week, we kind of, for those people who know of the lore of AJ Foyt, you guys will know that anytime something bad happened, AJ was it was a good old boy. He was a Texan, he was big Tex. He was a big boy, and ooh, if you pissed him off, you spun him. He wanted to put his hands on you and throw you across. He would, if he had the ability to, he could drop the rules. Could have taught some of those younger drivers, some of the drivers that were being airheads at the time, that were being airheads on the track, especially the younger ones. I'm pretty sure by the grace of God, if God dropped the rules, pretty sure AJ would have used every single ounce into the track to beat some sense into those younger guys and whatnot. But because there's a law, he doesn't. But we got to see some pretty cool outbursts from AJ. So being emotional, being a little bit of a it was just his thing, and he had that whiny, very young and very whiny disposition to him. But I think he got better as he won races, and he actually did better. Do I think he might? Do I have it in me that he might have won a few more championships? Yeah, he's 41. Dale Senior won championships in his 40s on and stuff like that. Harry Gant also won many races while he was 56, and Richard Petty, the old fool, was running races in his 50s, in his 40s, in his 50s and 60s as well, in his 40s and 50s as well. So he was never in doubt that Petty, that he could have won more races, and he could have actually won more championships. Kyle would drive for, Kyle in his time drove for Chevrolet, Ford, and I'm pretty sure he ended up with Toyota. So he drove for a lot of the manufacturers, and it's just, he had talent. It's in when you're not a big fan of a racing driver, you gotta, while he had his moments, and while he was a whiny little bastard when he first started, and he matured and got better, and he matured, and he's gotten better. He's definitely had it. He still has his moments, but you know, it sucks when you lose. And I hate to use that word, but it really sucks when a driver that was. It doesn't matter whether you love them or you hate them. It sucks when you see such a good talent go like that. You know, it's the reason why I'm saying this is because non-fans of a guy will say that because they know because you know he's good. That's just the rule of fact. When you're not a big fan of a guy, when you're not a big fan of a guy and you're fans of other people, it means that the guy's really good. Like he really gets on people's nerves. So he's just it's just that good, and that's the reason why Busch. That's the reason why Busch was a decent driver, and it just, as I said, it just sucks that we lost him. So in the NASCAR community, and, you know, I've been following NASCAR um, since I was a kid. I've been following NASCAR ever since my grandfather turned us to it. I remember playing NASCAR. I remember playing NASCAR. And I remember he was over the house one time, and he was watching us, and um, we actually had the PlayStation on downstairs, and I think it was a Friday night. Yeah, it was. I think it was like a Thursday night. My mom and dad had to do something, and we had the PlayStation downstairs. My father let us play it that night. He said, as long as you guys get your homework done, then you can show my father the game. And after that, he was like, "Oh, this is so cool. You get to race the cars and stuff." Like he says, "No, it's so cool. You get to race the cars and all that stuff." And my grandfather was huge into motorsport. Like he grew up, like he was the one who kind of got me into NASCAR. This is my dad's dad, the one that passed about 3-4 years ago in 2022. So he actually turned me and my brothers to NASCAR, and after that we got to know names like Mark Martin, Dale Jarrett. Dale Jarrett used to be one of my favorites. Dale Earnhardt, Bobby and Tara Labonte, the Labonte brothers, Jeff and Jeff and Greg Bodine, Jeff with Geoff, the English, the English/European way to say Jeff, and I remember 2001 February, Daytona 500 2001. I remember watching Michael Waltrip win the Daytona 500, and I think his son Dale, and I think Dale Earnhardt Senior's son Dale Jr. come up in the top three. And I remember Sterling Marlin. Actually, was it Sterling Marlin? I think it might have been Ricky Rudd. It was either Ricky Rudd or Sterling Marlin. Can't remember. But all I remember is Dale going into the wall. I remember 2 hours later, Mike Helton, and Bill France, and Brian France when he was young, come on the news and say, "Oh, Mark, we have some sad news of Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s passing." And I remember crying my eyes out. I remember crying like a baby that day. Because Dale was the driver, and it sucks that, I'm a grown man now. And it's I can still say that it's sad to lose these NASCAR guys when on the track when they do stuff. We will hate them, and then we'll say, "Oh, all right, he's all right. It's all right. He did okay. He did good. Blah 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 blah." We're all right with that. But when and you're like, oh, you can sit there and go, oh, he won by luck, or when he hits somebody and gets the lead, and he has the lead. Oh, like, oh, he's cheating. He's a such and such. You want to say that every single time, and sometimes they're like, oh, he made the pass at the last second, but you have to admire it anyway. But when a NASCAR driver dies in the NASCAR community, and I've been a fan of the NASCAR community since like the late '90s, it's really, 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 it really, really is truly terrible when we lose a soul like that in the NASCAR community. It's huge. I'm pretty sure. And it's while he has moments, he had his temper. A lot of NASCAR drivers had their temper. AJ Foyt and all those other guys, Bobby Allison, Donnie Allison, Davey Allison, and Kelly Albert and the rest of those guys. They all had their they all had Bobby Isaac and all those other guys. They all had their fiery personalities when they wanted to fight each other. But he was more of he was just he had a personality, um, but yeah, it just terribly sucks when we lose somebody like that, um, especially when you lose somebody that won a couple of championships. That's definitely not fun when you lose a champion. That's huge because some people probably look because some people who work up through the NASCAR rank who are probably working up through the NASCAR ranks probably are fans of him, and they probably see his way of doing things as modern and stuff like that. I mean, um, doing this way, and if that's the way they want to go, that's the way they want to go. Obviously, not to question their fandom because they're fans of Kyle. Um, but yeah, I just feel terrible because his wife Samantha and the kids, and Kurt, who's his brother, the Las Vegas boys. The Busch family's down one, so it's terrible. And that's the other thing. The reason why I'm on his death because the Busch family and the extended family of Kurt Busch, they lose a brother, a sibling, a father, a brother-in-law, a husband to his wife Samantha, um, and and since he was 41, maybe he was an uncle. He was possibly an uncle, um, and it's just terrible. We lose more than just a race car driver when we pass on. We don't only just lose ourselves. We will lose the person that passed on, whether it's natural causes or some illness. We don't know what his cause of death was yet, but obviously when the autopsy will do it. A lot of people said he has severe illness, and a lot of people like, well, he's a fit racing driver. Why? So he. But what's amazing to me is he accomplished so much in 40 in the short 41 years of his life. Winning two NASCAR championships is not easy. Winning dozens of races is not easy. Driving a cup car is not easy. So I do respect him. I kind of respect him because he's a. While I wasn't a fan of him, I will say that he is a very good driver. He's a championship winning driver. So there's so while I dislike him as a driver, as a rival driver to people I like, he's a good one. So to the guys in Chevy and Ford, to the guys I root for Chevy and begrudgingly Ford, but hope my father doesn't watch this video because he hates sports. So do I, but you know, but yeah, it's you lose more than just the person. It affects the other people as well. So I'm pretty sure his family knew that he was a successful driver, and he if I ever had to give my condolences to them in that community, I'm like, yeah, Kurt was a I said sorry for your loss, and Kurt was an amazing driver and was an amazing driver. He definitely he's a multi NASCAR Cup champion, so he's I'll miss seeing him on the track, and I'll miss seeing him on because we always want that one guy that we want to talk about when somebody crashes or somebody wrecks or where will this guy end up? It's part of that dialogue. But we will miss Mr. Busch. So to his friends, his family, his loved ones, and the NASCAR community, I'm sorry for your loss. My condolences to his to everybody in that community and the whole NASCAR community watching. That were watching that are watching the news or reading the news articles. It's big. It's a big loss for us in the NASCAR community as well because it's a community. It's the NASCAR family, so you don't want to lose. It's part of that camaraderie and all that other stuff. While they may hate each other on track, it's a community. So when they lose one, and NASCAR is a huge family because there's so many teams, so many drivers. It's terrible when you lose one. So my condolences go out to everybody involved, and Lord rest Kyle's soul. I usually don't. I haven't done this in a while. But I'm gonna give Kyle Busch. What was his original number? I forget what his original number was. Can't remember. But I'm going to give Kyle Busch, starting now, a moment of silence and my condole. And I'm going to say some prayers for him because the NASCAR community lost a good driver. So, starting now, my moment of silence. I think it's been about a minute, like 10 seconds or something like that. But But yeah, I just thought I'd give a moment of silence to Kyle, because while we're not fans of people, it doesn't mean we hate them. Um, it's just doesn't mean we hate them. It's just that it's part of things in life. There's some things we like, and then there's some things we don't like, and then there's some things we like because we just like them, and it's cool, and then it's we're not fans of certain things because that's just the way how we feel, but we do acknowledge that they exist. That they exist, so because they get reactions. Um, as I said, Kyle was a great driver. He had his moments. Emotionally he had his moments, but every NASCAR driver does. We all have emotional moments, so I can't fault him on that. But yeah, as I said again, if I'm gonna say for the gazillion time in this video, it sucks. It's part of life. Losing is a part of life, although not this early of an age. It's kind of a shock. So I just don't see that I just don't feel right that his life was cut short. So it's there's a lot of people that are probably like, oh yeah, he's a whiny son of a bitch. He shouldn't be driving a NASCAR. He should blah 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 blah. There's plenty of people like that. He's won two cup championships. He's okay. So he's a great driver. He's done what he's done. I mean, he did accomplish a lot in 40 years. I mean, not a lot of people can say that they've won two cup championships in a relatively short span. I mean, 41 years to win two championships in many races. It's pretty darn good. Would he have won more cup championships? He would. He won many more. In fact, I think he would have won. In fact, I think if he still had it in him and he found the right team, he might win maybe two or three more before he retired. But unfortunately, because of some severe illness or whatever it's going to be revealed, that was cut short, and we didn't get to see his full potential. And that's another thing. We don't like to see other people's full potential being cut down. So they say death / losing somebody is the great equalizer. You see people's achievements for what they did, because in the context, as I said, in a 41-year span in his life, he charged up the ranks in NASCAR. Not a lot of people can say that. So only select few make it, and the select few that make it are on the tracks because he put his heart and soul into driving. Obviously, but obviously, there was some misgivings in his personality and stuff like that. But as I said, the world lost a really good driver, a champion driver, and a decent soul. So I should say, very emotional soul. But are we all? So my condolences go out to the family and the loved ones in the NASCAR community, and also to Kyle himself. So, Kyle, if you're up there, bud, you will be missed. You will be missed. I will miss your presence on the racetrack every Sunday, either every Saturday, Sunday night, while they're racing, brother. Let you rest in peace, and maybe be able to turn a few laps with Dale Sr. up on the big racetrack in the sky, and that big racetrack in the sky known as heaven. And I know you're playing with Yarborough, Gant, the Allison brothers, and Aaron Center and everybody else. So the Enzers and everybody else who did open wheel and all that other stuff. So my thoughts and so my prayers. So my thoughts go out to you, but rest in peace. Good night. And I'm going to say good night to you guys too. So this is a long one. But yeah, I didn't want to get too teary-eyed, but it does. Death is not a fun thing, and we're all mortal. Good night, folks. And rest in peace, Mr. Kyle Busch.